Before you buy a home, you need to watch this video. These are the 10 most Googled questions about buying a home. I bet some of them will surprise you. Let's break it down so you can make the smartest decision possible. Number 1, is it better to buy or rent? This is a great question. It depends on your financial position, personal situation, and your time frame. Let's break this down. Are you in a financial position to buy? Do you have money for a down payment? Do you have money saved for closing costs? Nobody talks about this, but do you have money saved up in reserve? What about the cost of maintaining a home? Buying a home is great, but you have to have enough money in order to maintain your home after you buy it. What is your debt situation? How much do you have in consumer debt? What is your current income? How long have you been at your current job? How stable is your job? If you're buying a home with someone else, how stable is that relationship? Every person's situation is going to be a little bit different. Finally, what about your time frame? Do you plan on being in your next home for at least 5 years? If you're not in a financial position to buy, meaning you don't have enough money saved up for an emergency, or if you don't plan on being in your home for the next 5 years, then you should rent. Now, there are some great loan programs out there to help people finance their down payment, and you can structure your offer to have the seller pay for your closing costs. For example, let's say you need money for closing costs. Let's say the purchase price of the home is $300,000. You could make an offer to pay $305,000 and then ask the seller to pay $5,000 of your closing costs, prepaids, and escrows. That's great. That gets you in the home, but you need to stay in the home. And I'm a big believer in home ownership, but not if you can't afford the home. Your financial position will also depend on your debt-to-income ratio. Lenders, when they calculate your pre-approval, they'll look at your debt-to-income ratio. Your debt-to-income ratio is your total monthly debt payments divided by your gross monthly income multiplied by 100. For example, let's say you have monthly debts of a car loan for $600, a student loan of $300, your minimum credit card payment of $50, and your mortgage payment, which includes your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, of $2,200. That means your total monthly debt is $3,150. You take $3,150 divided by your gross monthly income, in this case, let's just say $10,000, and then you multiply that by 100, gets you 31.5%. Most lenders prefer a DTI below 43%. The lower, the better. Some loan programs allow a higher DTI. A high DTI means you may struggle with making your payments. When you buy a home, as a homeowner, you're responsible for maintenance. Most people underestimate the amount of money it takes to maintain a home. When you rent, the maximum amount you pay for housing each month is your rent payment. However, when you buy a home, the minimum amount of money you spend for housing each month is your mortgage payment. Your rent will increase over time. When you buy, if you have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, your principal and interest payment will remain fixed. However, your taxes and homeowner's insurance may increase over time. When you buy, you have a say over your home. You can paint, you can do your own landscaping without having to have your work approved by a landlord. However, when you rent, your landlord will dictate what you can and cannot do. Also, after that initial lease has expired, at any moment, that landlord can sell that home from underneath you. Ultimately, you have to decide what is best for your given situation. Even if you're not quite ready to buy a home, it doesn't hurt to speak with a lender in order to put you on a path toward home ownership. Number 2, what are the steps in buying a home? Now, I actually did a whole video on this topic, and I'll leave a link in the description below. In a nutshell, the process involves securing financing, finding the right property, making an offer, conducting inspections, and closing the deal. The next question: How do interest rates affect buying a home? The lower the interest rates, the better. When you borrow money from the bank is going to charge you interest. As interest rates increase, your buying power decreases. If interest rates decrease, then your buying power increases. For example, let's take a $300,000 loan. At a 7% mortgage interest rate, your principal and interest payment would be $1,995.91 a month. However, if you had a 4% mortgage interest rate, your principal and interest payment would be $1,432.25 a month. Now, what will interest rates do? Nobody knows. Interest rates are determined by the market, and interest rates are influenced by the bond market. Number 4, how much should I save for a down payment? And that's going to depend on your loan program. Ideally, if you want to avoid PMI or private mortgage insurance, you should save 20% down. That means for a purchase price of $300,000, you would need to save $60,000 for a down payment. However, 20% down is out of reach for many buyers, especially first-time home buyers. For those who don't have 20% down, one option is FHA financing. FHA stands for Federal Housing Administration. FHA has a little more tolerance for those who may have less than perfect credit. FHA loans require a 3.5% down payment. For example, with an FHA loan with a $300,000 purchase price, you would need $10,500 saved for a down payment. If you're a veteran, you can apply for VA financing. VA financing is a mortgage program backed by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs that helps eligible veterans, active duty service members, and some military spouses buy a home with no down payment and no mortgage insurance. It's one of the most powerful loan programs options available. USDA financing is a government-backed mortgage program from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. USDA is designed to help low to moderate income buyers purchase homes in eligible rural or suburban areas, and it offers 0 down payment. Number 5, when is the best time to buy a home? The best time to buy a home is when you're ready. There's never a perfect time to buy. Don't try to time the market. Homes sell for market value. Best time to buy a home was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. Number 6, how can I improve my credit score to buy a home? The higher your credit score, the more options you have. Check your credit report and dispute any errors. You can order a free credit report from annualcreditreport.com. Pay down credit card balances. Keep balances below 30% of your credit limit. Make all of your payments on time, and this has the biggest impact on your credit score. Next, avoid opening new credit accounts before buying a home. At the same time, keep old accounts open, even if you don't use them. Reduce any existing debt. Pay off personal loans, auto loans, and student loans when possible. Finally, talk to your lender early. They can help you set up a personalized plan to improve your credit score. Number 7, what are the hidden costs for buying a home? In addition to your down payment, you're going to need closing costs. Closing costs are the fees and expenses needed to close the transaction. This can amount to 2 to 5% of the purchase price. Common closing costs include earnest deposit, loan origination fees, appraisal fee, title insurance, escrow fees, prepaid property taxes and homeowners insurance, and home inspection fees. In addition to closing costs, one cost that gets overlooked is the cost to move. These costs include hiring professional movers, truck rental, and packing supplies. Another item overlooked is appliances. When you make an offer to purchase, you can ask the seller to include the existing appliances. However, if you're buying new construction, the builder may or may not include an appliance package. In addition, for new construction, another item which may not be included is the cost of window covering. This can be to the tune of several $1,000s. Another drawback with new construction is the cost of landscaping. Again, this can amount to several $1,000s. Some buyers who are relocating may opt to purchase brand new furniture. Again, this can amount to several $1,000s depending on your taste. If you're purchasing an existing home, you might need to paint or recarpet. At a bare minimum, you have the cost of rekeying the property and the cost to have the carpet professionally cleaned. There could be repairs that need to be done or repairs that will need to be budgeted for. For example, you might buy a home that has older windows or an older HVAC system. You might need to budget for future replacement. Before buying a home, make sure you budget for these extra costs and having a solid emergency fund to cover any unexpected expenses. Number 8. How do I select the right real estate agent? Number 1, understand the role of a real estate agent. A, the buyer's agent helps you find and negotiate the purchase of a home. A listing agent helps you market and sell your home. A great agent should educate you on the local market, find homes that meet your needs and budget, arrange showings and provide insights on each property, negotiate price, terms, repairs on your behalf, and guide you through the paperwork, inspections, and closing. Where do you find an agent? Start with doing some research. Ask for referrals from friends and families, and ask who helped you buy or sell your home, and would you use them again? Then check Zillow, Realtor.com, and Google. Look at the reviews, both good and bad. Look at their overall social media presence. If they have a YouTube channel, that's a bonus because you can get a feel for that agent without actually contacting them. Interview multiple agents. Ask questions. How many years have you been in the business? How well do you know this area? How many homes have you sold in the past year? Do you work full-time or part-time? And do you mostly work with buyers or sellers? Check their credentials and their track record. Check the multiple listing service for their recent sales. And you can also look at their past sales and reviews on Zillow. Ask for a list of references. These would be past clients that you can contact. Next, you want to understand their commission and fees. Now, understand that agent compensation is 100% negotiable. There's no such thing as a standard commission. As of August 17th, 2024, the way agents are compensated changed as a result of a settlement of a class action lawsuit. Before you tour a home, you are required to sign a buyer-broker agreement. This will outline the agreed-upon fee, the length of the agreement, and the duties of the agent. One of the other major components of this settlement is that the commission field has been removed from the MLS. If you haven't bought a home for a while, you might have thought, well, doesn't the seller pay the agent? Or will it cost me more to buy a home in today's environment? Not necessarily. Things have changed. However, you can still ask the seller to give you a seller credit to pay for the cost of your buyer agent. What are some red flags that you should look out for? Number 1, poor communication. Anyone who is pushy or salesy, a lack of market knowledge, no recent transactions, and someone who's only working part-time. The next question, what should I look for during the home inspection? A home inspection assesses the property's condition. You're looking for safety issues and major material defects. Key areas of focus should be the roof, the foundation, electrical system, plumbing, and HVAC systems. If you're purchasing a home in the Omaha area, according to our purchase agreement, if you elect to do inspections, you have 14 calendar days to conduct any and all inspections. These can include, but not limited to, a whole house inspection, a sewer scope inspection, a radon test, a foundation inspection, roof inspection, HVAC inspection, a mold inspection, or a septic system inspection, or any inspection that the buyer deems necessary. Number 10, what are the tax benefits of owning a home? Homeownership offers several tax benefits, including the mortgage interest deduction, property tax deductions, and potential capital gains exclusion on the sale of a primary residence. Be sure to consult a tax advisor who can help maximize these benefits.